I didn't believe in creepy things before this, but now I sleep with the lights on. I moved into my new apartment about 3 weeks ago. It wasn't anything special, just a small, slightly old place on the third floor of a quiet building. The rent was cheap, which was honestly the main reason I took it. The landlord was a strange man. He didn't talk much. When I asked him why the apartment was so cheap, he just smiled and said, "People don't stay long." At the time, I thought he was joking. Now I know he wasn't. The first few days were completely normal. I unpacked my stuff, cleaned the place, and tried to make it feel like home. The apartment had one bedroom, a small kitchen, and a living area. Everything seemed fine, just a little old. But something always felt off. I couldn't explain it. It was like the air inside the apartment was heavier at night. The bedroom was the worst. There was a large wooden wardrobe already placed against the wall. It looked old, but solid. I didn't think much of it at first. I just started using it. But every night I felt like something was wrong in that room. Not dangerous, just wrong, like I wasn't alone. It started with small things. I would wake up in the middle of the night and hear faint sounds, soft, slow, scratching. At first, I thought it was rats inside the walls, but the sound didn't come from the walls. It came from behind the wardrobe. The first time I heard it clearly, I froze. Scratch, scratch, scratch. It was slow, almost careful, like someone didn't want to be heard. I sat up in bed, staring at the wardrobe in the dark. The sound stopped. The next morning, I checked behind the wardrobe, or at least I tried to. The wardrobe was heavy, way heavier than it should have been. I pushed it with all my strength, but it barely moved. I was strange. It looked like a normal wooden wardrobe, but it felt like it was bolted to the floor. I told myself I was overthinking, but the sounds didn't stop. Every night, around the same time, 2:30 a.m., scratch, scratch, scratch. Always slow, always behind the wardrobe. And every time I got out of bed to check, silence. After a week, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I decided to move the wardrobe. I didn't care how heavy it was. I needed to know what was behind it. It took me almost an hour. I pushed, pulled, and even used a chair as leverage. Finally, it moved. Just a few inches at first, then more. And that's when I saw it. There was a door behind the wardrobe. A small, narrow wooden door. No handle, no lock, just a door. My heart started beating fast. Why would there be a hidden door behind a wardrobe? And why would someone hide it like that? I told myself there had to be a logical explanation. Maybe it was an old storage space. Maybe the landlord just didn't mention it. Still, something didn't feel right. I shouldn't have opened it. I know that now. The door didn't have a handle, but there was a small gap on one side. I pushed my fingers into it and pulled. It opened slowly, and the smell hit me first. It was awful, rotten, damp, like something had been trapped in there for a long time. I covered my nose and stepped back. Inside, it was completely dark. I used my phone flashlight. The light revealed a narrow passage. It wasn't a room, it was a hallway. The walls were made of concrete, old, cracked, stained. The floor was dusty, but not untouched. There were marks, like something had been dragged across it. I stood there for a long time, just staring, trying to decide if I should go in. Every instinct in my body said no, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. I stepped inside. The air was colder, much colder than the apartment, the kind of cold that feels wrong. I walked slowly down the narrow hallway. Each step felt heavier than the last. The silence was unbearable. Then I heard it. Scratch, scratch, scratch. I froze. It was coming from deeper inside. I whispered, "Hello?" No response, just silence. Then again, scratch, scratch, scratch. This time louder, closer. I turned around immediately. I didn't care anymore. I needed to get out. I rushed back toward the door. My heart was racing. My hands were shaking. But when I reached the entrance, I stopped. The door was closed. I know for a fact I left it open. I grabbed it and pulled. It didn't move. Panic hit me instantly. I pulled harder. Still nothing. Then, from behind me, a voice. Soft, weak. "Don't leave." I turned slowly. My flashlight was shaking in my hand. The light moved across the hallway, and then it stopped. There was something at the end. A figure, tall, too thin, standing in the darkness. I couldn't see its face, but I knew it was looking at me. "Don't leave," it said again. My entire body froze. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. Then it started moving, slowly, dragging something behind it. That's when I ran. I don't remember how, but I managed to open the door. Maybe it wasn't locked. Maybe I just got lucky. I ran out and slammed it shut. Then I pushed the wardrobe back in front of it. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. I told myself it was just my imagination, stress. Maybe I was tired. But then I noticed something. The scratches didn't stop. They just changed. Now they were coming from the other side of the room, not behind the wardrobe anymore, but inside the walls, moving, every night, closer. Last night it was right next to my bed. Scratch, 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 slow, careful, like it was searching for a way out or a way in. I don't know what's behind that door, and I don't want to know, but I think it knows I'm here now, and I don't think it wants me to leave. I'm writing this because I don't know what else to do. I tried calling the landlord. He didn't answer. I tried leaving the apartment, but every time I reach the front door, I hear it right behind me. Scratch, 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 closer than ever. And the worst part? I swear, I just heard the wardrobe move.